Hi Libra, I'm really loving the transit of your ruling planet Venus in the 7th house in Aries right now. It's May 2017, great start to the month. I'm Dadhichi from astrological.com.au, hoping you're going to connect with what I've got to say for you this month, albeit briefly, but what I think will be the keynotes for this coming month for you. The 7th house is important. It's very important right now for a couple of reasons. First, I've just mentioned the transit of your ruler, which really amplifies and at the same time focuses your energy on that 7th house. Marital relations, business relations, but hang on, we've had a retrograde Mercury there as well. The dreaded retrograde Mercury. Not always so bad, but in your case maybe a little mixed. The retrogression shows a holding off, a review, a reappraisal, miscommunication, misunderstanding. These are the traditional views of what a retrograde planet does. And being in your 7th house along with Uranus right now, this can be unexpected to say the least. So the good news about that Venus is that it can smooth things over. It brings some of the Libran energy into the relationships where you can have a more formidable discussion, where you can balance out and harmonize what have been otherwise misunderstandings between you and other people. It's also a time when you can connect with the public generally, where you're more interested in being with others. But you have to watch that, because judging from the transit list that I have here in front of me, when Venus moves to the opposition aspect to Jupiter later in the month, you could be a little too effusive. And this is one of the dangers of being born under the sun sign, moon sign, or ascendant sign of Libra, is that you become too effusive, you become too ingratiating, you try too hard, you want to please everyone. And this is the problem, right? My sense is that if there have been some misunderstandings here, the naughtiness is on the part of the other person. But why is it that you're the one that's coming to the party to try to smooth things over? Hold your ground a little bit on this and don't be too effusive in trying to make things work. I would suggest that after the 4th, when Mercury moves direct, and more so after the 11th or the 12th, when it's clearly out of this, hampered sort of movement, that communication will start to move forward much, much more openly, more directly. You know, there are quite a few other planets that have been in retrogression. Your own planet, Venus, was retrograde recently. It's only just gone forward. Saturn is still currently retrograde. And Jupiter in your sun sign, which you know of from my previous discussions with you, is still retrograde. So all of these factors show quite a few different departments of your life may not be functioning as per your plans. So it's always a good idea to either move more slowly, reappraise the situation, don't be afraid of taking time, or as that old saying goes, if in doubt, leave it out. So that's mostly what I'd like to say about those retrograde planets. The other slower moving planets, such as Jupiter and Saturn, won't be moving forward quite as quickly. Mercury will give you an immediate sense of relief. It will move to the 8th house, and that happens on the 16th. So much of your attention too and your communication, pardon me, will have to do with finances, shared resources, and also to some extent the hidden aspect of your relationships, if we want to carry that theme through a little bit further. In terms of negotiating the intimacy, that intimate side of your nature, the sexual side of your nature. I love the word intimacy, intimacy. So it is really an opening out of yourself, an honest expression of your feelings. That may not be so easy for you because, as I said earlier, you want to please everyone. You don't want to hurt their feelings. Well, maybe you have to, just for the sake of clearing the air and just speaking your mind, and that in due course will improve your relationships. It also will win you a lot more respect from other people, trust me. The full moon takes place in Scorpio. That's on the 11th. So this shared resources sector that I'm talking about now is a nice prelude to this next brief topic of the full moon in Scorpio, which is your second house of income. That should start to see a rise in your finances, especially because the month starts off with the moon transiting your 10th house of career. The other end of that is May 26th, when we see the new moon taking place in the sign of Gemini. Now, there's going to be 3 planets there at the end of the month: Mars, the Sun, and the new moon. This has to do with studies, higher education, spirituality, long distance journeys, legal battles. So the new moon there shows a new opportunity, a new chapter opening out there. But do be careful, because the Sun will be moving into that conjunction with Mars late in the month and early into the month later. And that's called combustion. That is the planet Mars, which relates to the 7th house of relationships. So just when you thought you had everything under control, when the planets were moving direct, you're going to have this combustion taking place, and that may be more telling on the part of your partner rather than on yourself. So compassion may be needed at that time, but more on that for the month of June when I see you next month. If you want to get a more detailed analysis of this reading, do join me at astrology.com.au. This is just a very scratchy the surface type of reading, but we have more there for you. A yearly reading as well, which I think will help you along with contextualizing what's happening now in the longer term. And don't forget, if you need any personal attention, I am here at your service, along with hundreds of other practitioners who are part of our affiliate networks, and we do look forward to being of service with you. Till next month, take care. Bye-bye.